Hi, peace and love, everyone. Peace and love. So yeah, just FYI, I finally have launched my website, 888 Strategy. What is 88 Strategy? Well, first of all, the 8 is my lifeline, which it does represent wealth, abundance. So, with that being said, I feel like it's perfect to name my business 888 Strategy. And it's called Strategy because everything that we do in life, we need a strategy for it. You know, for the most part, it has to have a strategy. Many of us are out here, we hustling, but there's no strategy behind the hustle, you know, or anything that we do in life. So, in order to reach certain goals or to pretty much like expand or elevate into other levels, we need a strategy for it. I mean, even I'm sure many of you all played Mario, you know, Super Mario, and there was a strategy, you know, that you would have to go ahead and pass on to the next level. So that's pretty much what it's about. So I offer business strategy sessions, real estate strategy sessions. I offer asset protection strategy sessions, veganize me strategy, which is, you know, those who want to become vegan or have more vegan meals. I can actually do like one-on-ones with you all. And yeah, I'm excited about it. I have a few six-figure clients. I'm so excited for them. So excited for them, you know, for them to be able to turn their passion into wealth and monetize off of their passion. So I look forward to building even more 6, 7 figure earners businesses. And that's my goal. You know, I have this one who just shared much love and respect to Phoenix Rising. If you all know of Phoenix Rising, you know, she recently started her own business. She expanded and pretty much, you know, is on her way to seeing well over 6 figures. And I definitely want to get her to have 6 figure weeks. So there's a strategy coming up for that. And I'm excited about that. So if you're interested, please, you know, book me. And this investment will bring a return on your investment for sure. For sure. And then I also have this lawful money class coming up that I'm excited about that. I'm going to give more details this week. And yeah, I look forward to it. So today we have Kush Day and Don. He just joined us. So I just accepted his request. Let's see. Hey, peace and love.
Peace, peace, peace.
How are you?
Colin, Salam, what's the word? Let me
Good.
turn this light up. All right, what's the word?
Well, so listen, I posted a video. So I shared this video with my partner. And I was like, yo, I really love how he breaks this down. First of all, you always breaking things down in a
Hmm.
way that blows people's mind. You know,
Sa-
that's beautiful.
Islam.
When you break things down, it's like you're making it a visual for us. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
out here that we are visual learners. We're not just about hearing, you know, or seeing some words. It's more so of like, okay, we got to see it with our third eye type of.
right,
So
right.
thanks for even being here.
Oh,
Uh,
for sure.
thank
So for sure.
you so much.
It's for the people.
Always, always, because we're the people, you know. So it's like,
Facts, facts.
so with that being said, just first of all, introduce yourself to some of my people that have possibly never, you know, got a chance to even hear one of your breakdowns when, you know, you break down these words that kind of all the while, you know. So go ahead. Where you from? You know, where you from? What's
Okay, Chicago.
okay?
Chicago up in here. The rack.
Okay, Chi-Town for sure.
Yeah, you know that. I'm just saying though, man. I'm Kush Day, Moorish American, straight out of Chicago, born and raised. So I came upon this more science, and I see that more science is something that everybody right now is looking for. That's the crazy part, because everybody right now, whether you go into yoga, breathing, spirituality, you going into economics, you going into business, you going into civics, law, you going into herbology, agriculture, you going into any of that, you still coming down to more science. So that's why the push, like you feel that energy, right? That
I
energy. it's a shift happening right now because you talking about an identity. If you don't have an identity outside right now, what are you doing? Like you just seen, you seen that video. A gang of people been sending me that video with them two Albions, and they was talking about and that Moor chick that was misidentifying herself as black. I know you seen that video, right?
Yeah. I commented on that as well. Go ahead.
Identity. That's what's your identity. That's why we finna build right now.
I know we're gonna discuss certain things, but things transpire. Sometimes we just have to flow with.
Yeah.
And right now, yes, definitely identity is very big because this is the reason why we're put in certain positions. Hey, we start to get classified in certain ways, and then it trickles down even to when we start to own property or we start to carry out business because we're misidentified, we're misinformed. So we are moving in not the way that we're supposed to, so that's why many of us have like headaches or we have issues, communicating with people because how to identify ourselves.
Like watch this, right? This because we organic with this whole demo. We organic. What's your nationality?
Okay, well, I am Honduran and Jamaican.
Honduran and Jamaican. I got Jamaica right here, repping, right? That's a nationality. Okay, cool. But we are Moors though. Now, look, give me the national dish. Watch this. Give me the national dish of Jamaica.
Ackee and sawfish.
Bah, bing bong, right? Now, give me the national dish of Honduras.
Sopa de caracol.
Bing bong. So if you would say, well, what's the national dish of African Americans or so-called black people?
All right. Well, this is the thing. As far as South, because there's a little difference between, my people from the South. We definitely would eat collard greens, and we would eat also black-eyed peas.
Right.
That's for the most part, but it isn't something that if you ask anybody, they're 9 times out of 10 they're not going to know, a tradition.
Exactly.
For the most part.
Exactly. You see how we just start right now on the national dish? We just talking about food. We ain't even get nowhere yet. As if I pull up in Honduras, I want some sopa and whatever else you said. I go to yard, I'm gonna get some ackee and sawfish. There's no like, okay, well, it depends on where you at, and if you in Westmoreland or if you in Kingston. No, sir. The national dish is what it is. Nationality is the order of the day. That's what it is.
So when did you start to identify yourself and see, like, when did this all start? When did your journey, in a sense, begin? And why?
Well, I would say 22 now. I would say about 6 years ago, maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. I was driving my baby. We traveling in the car, and I'm taking my baby girl, Queen Camille. I'm taking Queen Camille to daycare at the time. So I'm fumbling around trying to figure out like something to watch. You know how you got your phone synced up and shit. So I got my phone synced up on YouTube, and I'm scrambling around trying to find something. And I land on the Taj Tariq Bey. I never forget. I landed on the Taj Tariq Bey video, and he was speaking on driver license fraud. And I'm like, I ain't know nothing at the time about none of that. So I'm like, what is this dude talking about? But he made sense. So I'm like, I'm looking at it, and I'm in the car. I'm like, man, let me just leave this on. So I left it on the whole ride. So as I drop my baby off, I get back in the truck and I leave it on. I drove all the way to the crib, and I'm like, I don't know who he was, but I'm about to start digging because I wanted to prove him wrong. And in my digging, I started seeing like everything Taj was talking about as far as driver license fraud was making sense. Why we gotta pay a license to travel on our land? So I was like, okay, now we going down the rabbit hole now. Now we finna go in.
That
That's
was
how I started.
introduction to this journey. Like you weren't a part of a group. This was on a sense like, okay, obviously you were led to this. Obviously, you know, spirit guided you to this because this wasn't something that you were per se looking for. It was like,
Nah.
let me snatch you up right quick. And
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. That's how I started. And then, you know what I'm saying, going through stuff with police and whatnot, I had some confrontations with some policy enforcers. So once I had the confrontations, after I had seen my brother, shout out to Sabir Bay, I seen him, shout out to my brother Cujo. And I had started seeing a lot of other Moors on YouTube now. Now I'm digging now. I'm like, man, let me see what's up with that. So I was studying a little bit, you know, off and on, seeing what's up. Came across some policy enforcers, police. So I'm like, you know what? I'm finna use it. I'm finna use some of what I have been studying off and on for about a year. So I'm like, okay, I'm finna use it. Here come the time. I wasn't ready though, but here come the time now. Boom, policy enforcers right there. Dude at the door. I open the door up, let the dude in. It's two of them, two police. They're at my door now. Heart beating, boom, 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 beating on my shirt. So I'm like, I'm finna use it now. I'm nervous though. I'm nervous. Whole time I let him in. Now one cop, he looked like us. He was a Moor, but he identified as a so-called black man. Then he had a partner. He had a hybrid European partner. So my chest beat, boom, 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 boom. Because the dude told me, he's like, if you don't open this door up, I'm gonna kick the door down. So I'm like, hey man, I don't know. But I'm like, it's lit now. Boom, I open the door up, they come in there. Now the partner that's a Moor, he got gloves on. You know what time it is when they got gloves on. So he ready. I see him mouth foaming, he's slobbing at the mouth. He ready to do something to me. So my heart beat, boom, 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 boom. Now the European hybrid, he's standing there. He like, can I get your ID? I'm like, listen, I'm a Moorish American national. At this time, it's like 6 years ago. So I'm like fumbling a little bit. I'm not really sure of myself, really at all at that point. So I'm like, I'm a Moorish American national. I wasn't confident, but I was saying it. And he looked, he's like, oh, okay, whatever, trying to, you know, wave it off. But I stayed on it. So he like, let me see your ID. So he was like, I told him, I was like, I don't have to give you my ID. I said, there's no crime. But remember, this 6 years ago, so my heart beating and I'm fake nervous. So he, give me your ID or I'm locking you up right now. So I'm like, shh, I wasn't ready then. So I gave him the straw man, the driver license. I gave it to him. Now remember, his partner right there, he looking, he ready. So I give him my ID and he looked at it, he gave him my ID back. So he say something like, he said something like, man, his partner was like, man, take this dude in, take him in right now. I said, listen, this is the moment right here. This is the moment. I said, you don't have probable cause, and according to law, corpus delicti. I remember this like yesterday. I said, according to law, corpus delicti, there is no injured party on the scene. Therefore, there's no crime. That was really all the ammo that I had. That's really what I memorized. So when I said that, the European hybrid looked at me. He looked like how you know that? So he was holding my arm at the time. So boom, he let my arm go. And he was like, you know what? I don't see anything happening around here. He said something else. Then his partner said something. They huddled up. Him and his partner huddled up. And then they was like, all right, you know, have a nice day. In that moment, I went from 6'2" to 20 feet tall, right then and there. It was lit. It was lit. Then it's been on ever since then. True story. True story.
No, I mean, that is good to know because obviously, if we're here, we have to some way, somehow, many times interact with these people,
Yeah.
and again, identity is the reason why we get caught up in the reason, in the situations that we get caught up in,
Yeah.
because we don't know ourselves, we don't know the powers that we hold, to where it's like, okay, how to even interact with them to make sure that we do not contract, because we can contract with someone orally. It doesn't have to be anything, you know.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
So once you realize your identity, how would you say everything shifted, like from what we learned in school? How did everything else start to, like, you question everything pretty much?
On God. Because after that, I got this right here. Can I flip this around?
Yeah, you can.
I got this right here. Black's Law Dictionary.
What
Get this in your life.
what
And
edition,
then, huh?
what edition you have?
This is the 4th edition. You can tell my dictionary beat up. I got tape on it. This how it is. I done had this for like 6 years now. Beat up, tape on it, but it still got what you need in there. You know what I'm saying? It still got what you need in there. Because if you coming right here, hold on, let me get my highlight. If you coming right here and you looking at identity, so that video came out, yo, Ali, that video came out right on time, because you talking about identity. And they was talking about Black and African American. Both of them land under this right here. Black, African, Indian, they land under colored. So if it's colored, this is the wild part. The wild part is, peace, Cool Joe. The wild part is, it says, by common usage in America, this term is such phrases as colored persons, the colored race, colored man, colored women, and the like, is used to designate Negroes or persons of African race, including all persons of mixed blood descended from Negro ancestry. So when you're looking at this definition, you be like, well, that don't really, you know what I'm saying, that don't really sound too bad. Now you go right here where it get crazy at. It say, it has also been held that there is no N-O legal technical signification to the phrase colored person, which the courts are bound judicially to know. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means is, if you identifying as a Negro, Black, colored person, Indian, African American, you dead when it comes to law, and no one has to care about you because you're property.
So many people have been identifying as Indians, and even that, you would say that you're dead because, in a sense, you're property. Them.
Yep. Because look at this right here. Oh, we going in though. We going in. See this right here? Black slaves, Indian masters. See that right there? So when they talk about, well, I'm an Indian, I got a reservation, you need to look up Indian title. Hold up. You need to look up Indian title. All these people out here talking about, I'm Indian. Listen, yo, Ali. Noble Drew Ali was Cherokee, Anawiya. But he said we are Moors because he knew that the Indian term didn't hold weight in law. Noble Drew Ali is the man. He's the man because he knew, he was so ahead of his time in telling us what it was. He was Cherokee, but he was like, okay, cool. I'm Cherokee, but still, that's a tribe. That's not a nation. Like you said, Honduras. Honduras has what? Y'all got a flag. Y'all got a constitution. Y'all got a national dish. Jamaica, same thing there. Same thing here. Barbados, same thing here. Moors, that's the Moorish flag. Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna flip the whole interview around. Let me ask you a question. What is the flag of Black people or African Americans?
It's, well, I mean, from what I've seen, you know, it's the red, black, and green, the RBG flag.
Okay. Okay. Hold up. Stay there. Hold up. Stay there. Hold up. You know what time it is. Where is the RBG flag at on this globe?
In the RBG,
Where is it at?
there isn't.
Huh? There go Honduras. Honduras over there.
Right.
Oh, there go Honduras. Barbados, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico, Cuba. But all that's there. Okay, so let me ask you another question. So if there's no flag to coincide with their belief, ain't it about time that we should let that go?
Listen, what I do know is even my experiences with the policy enforcers, and I claim a certain that doesn't hold weight. Like it doesn't hold weight.
The thing went out. The sound went out. What you say?
I said even when I've had interactions with policy enforcers myself,
Yeah.
and you know, showed a tribal card or something like that, it didn't hold much weight. You know, it really did not hold much weight. So as far as like you having to have a nation, you having to have, you know, something to back you up, I know that that's necessary. That's imperative. And many of us want to sit here and not see the power of us identifying, you know, with who we are, who our neighbors
Right. Right.
and using that to be able to have something, a foundation to build from.
You know what's wild? Ali? Look, how they talking about so-called Indian people. Indian people are selling our own people out. Let's look at this right now. Indian lands. See this? Look, lands allotted to and in possession of an Indian tribe. Now watch the wild part though. Lands reserved under acts of Congress for occupancy by Indians. Hold up. What that say right there, Ali? It says lands owned by the United States. So if they own it, you just leasing your own land back. But they be thinking like, I'm an Indian, so I got some claims. No, you don't. Your own Indian Bureau of Affairs is selling you out. They are funded by the U.S. corporation. Hold up. We ain't done yet though. Yo, Ali, check it out. So you talking about peoples of the world, right? The United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. You know how I seen your page, you be talking about real rap. You be talking about business. You talk about economics. You talking about things that make big our people up. So let's go right here. All this stuff right here is for our people. Look, what it say? Welcoming the fact that indigenous peoples are organizing themselves for political, economic, social, and cultural enhancement. And in order to bring an end to all forms of discrimination and oppression wherever they occur. This right here. How come they ain't giving this information up? Right there. Here you go right here. You from Honduras and Jamaica. So you come under this right here. So-called black people, Indians, Native Americans, you don't come under that. You ain't got no protection with that. That's why they keep pushing nationality in the back. On the back of it, ain't even on the stove. You know how some be on the stove and it don't really get no heat because it's on the back. They try to put nationality like it way back there. Like way back. Oh God.
Listen, with the video that I shared, because again, it all definitely ties into the identity part.
Yeah.
I am a broker here in Florida. So with that being said, you know, my goal oftentimes is to teach people about some form of ownership, you know, but then it's
Yeah.
just like how everybody else in school, I also had to go to school to obtain this license.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to, but I really now, they're only going to teach me, you know, for their for run or run how they want their run. So a lot of things, when I look at contracts, I look at it a lot different now, you know. So it's like regardless of what, we do have to use their system. We can use their system, you know, for benefit.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. We look at the word license. Yo, Ali, this is why we got to go to law. You see, this is why we got to go to law. That's like this. Do you need, because hold up, I'm gonna do better than just tell you. I'm gonna do both. Do you think that if you got a garden, you got a garden? You got a garden? You got a garden. That's even better. So you got a garden. Check it out. You got a garden. Okay. Check this definition out of license. Now this ain't clear. Huh?
Avocados, some mangoes, what you want?
Okay, cool. That's what's up. So you see that? Black's Law Dictionary. This ain't Kush Day words. We going straight to the book. License. Certificate or the document itself which gives permission. Now let's apply that in real life. You got a garden. You plant your stuff there. Do you need to go to City Hall or the village and ask them, can you plant avocados? You need permission?
So let me tell you, they did some real messed up stuff. No, not here, right? Not here where I am, but I know of places that you do. And it's crazy because even that, they have systems for gardens, you know, like
See?
your house, like here in Florida, we're known for having the best orange. And I'm not arguing with anybody.
Right.
We have the best oranges, right?
Yeah.
Everybody in our neighborhood where I live had a lime tree, right? So they went to their homes. Obviously, I was a lot younger. I didn't know anything about this, and chopped off our trees, saying that the trees were sick because they were sick. And then when I got older, I'm like, yo, you know why they did that? Because they wanted to control having to have us go to the store for oranges and limes and things. But no, here in Florida, we don't need a license. Or at least in Miami-Dade County, Broward County, you don't need a license to have a garden. No.
Now check this out, right? Now you see how they violating? You see, I'm saying they is, it's got to be clear for the record. They is the U.S. corporation.
We're clear.
Anything associated with the U.S. corporation, including your straw man name, is a fraud. But if you participate, if you go against the Constitution, see, the Constitution is organic. So it's like this. Check it out, Ali. It's like this. So if you say the 13th Amendment says involuntary servitude is unconstitutional, but Abraham Lincoln, he made a second tier up in that. And the original 13th Amendment had 20 sections, but they cut all those out. So whole time, it's like if you say you voluntarily want to do contracts, sign them wrong. If you want to voluntarily go get a license, you're voluntarily consenting to enslavement. See, that's the part they don't tell you because it's voluntary. I ain't gonna tell you I'm not gonna force you to do it. I ain't gonna force you to go inside the slaughterhouse. Nah. But I'm gonna put a shiny object in front of the slaughterhouse though. I'm gonna wiggle that shiny object right in front of you, in front of that slaughterhouse. And you're gonna walk up in there on your own because you got free will. You see? This is why knowing the law governs all events. So when you talk about solutions, everybody be talking about problems, but Moors seem to be the only ones, be all Moors, that be bringing solutions. Economics, political, you talking about gun laws, things like that. You talking about finances. The majority of people out here, they talking about gun laws, have never even read the Constitution. The majority of people out here talk about, I need to go vote. Vote. Article 1, Section 1 tell you that. Voting. That's why the whole system, Ali, is a fraud. Since 1861, 1871. They talking about money? You talking about money, right? You talking about money? Look. Yeah. Huh? Shh. Are you talking about money? Look, right here. We gotta go here. We got to go here because here is the book that we don't get taught in school. What it say right there? In its strict technical sense, money means coined metal. Strict is that usually gold or silver upon which the government stamp has been impressed to indicate its value. Oh, yeah. Nah, go back in the time machine. You want to jump in the time machine? Let's all jump in the time machine real quick. All right? Let's jump in the time machine. You pull up any kind of old so-called currency, money. Everything is on coins. And them coins have Moorish faces on them. Not Europeans, not hybrids. So what we talking about? What we talking about? You still dealing with the Moors anyway. So how you talk about money? Yeah. How these people be talking about money? Well, we need to put something in the creditor and we need to put something over there in this account. Damn, do you know in 1871, they did something known as a double stock trust. They had an act of Congress come out and adjourn sine die. So all you dealing with is negotiable instruments. You're dealing with promises. Know what I'm saying? Remember we was little and somebody didn't have the money, so-called money, and they'll do what? They'll write you an IOU. Them little green pieces of paper ain't nothing but IOUs. They debt notes. So you can never pay a debt with the debt. So how you getting paid?
There's no. There is no.
Yeah. Ain't none.
That's the thing. Like, many of us are coming into the knowledge, or some of us have been in the knowledge of, like, realizing the whole system is a fraud. You know,
Yeah.
our birth name, from going to school, a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Like, in a sense, if they created, we also have to create a system, because systems are what, systems are what runs a nation, what runs a business, what runs into anything. it's the system itself. So with that being said, on the video that I shared with you with the when I had posted about this Mindful Mondays, you were
Yeah.
about like property, and a lot of
Yeah.
people know that, okay, the United States is a corporation, like any other, and yes, many companies come out of being bankrupt or go and create another name,
Yeah.
continue to operate, uh,
Yeah.
whatever it may be, So it's
Right.
in that post that was talking about like trust, and how like the trustees, I'm sorry, like the bankruptcy trustees are the ones that take ownership or something like that in regards to property. So I feel like right now, from you identify yourself, the next order of that after identifying yourself is to create your own system, your own trust, your um own asset protection, which is we are all assets. That's number one. We're all
Yeah,
assets.
for sure.
Our value is
On
so
God.
said right now. It's like, okay, yes, you identify yourself. Congratulations. Now, what are you going to do? Once you identify yourself, you cannot continue to operate in the same manner. Now it's more so of like, all right, we have to realize how the system works, and the system itself is even it's a trust. Like we've been placed in trust. So
Yeah.
go ahead and create our trust in order to start to operate and function in similar powers that they have. The only reason they have powers is because they're operating in trust. Because they're also a dead entity. They cannot speak. They're just a piece of paper.
Exactly.
The power is the trust. So after identifying yourself, okay, what is the next thing that we as a people have to do? And that is to create our own systems. Everybody says, oh, we need our own schools, we need our own this, but even that isn't a trust. The school
Yeah.
system has a trust. The hospitals are in a trust, whether they're
Yeah. That's
whatever you want to call it. So,
yeah.
all right, we identify who we are, we identify who they are. That's more
Right.
identifying who you are, but you identify who they are and what role they play. Now it's like, okay, we can't be out here as the bottom feeders. We can't be out here just gobbling what they give us and throw at us and accepting it as if that holds some power. We have to equip ourselves now with this knowledge and, in a sense, create the same system that they have created.
But see, that's the thing though. That's the I'm glad you just said that. You just said a whole lot of fire right there. I'm glad you just said that. Because we got to come back into this right here. This, for the record, the system that is in right now since 1871, the Act of Congress, that is known as color of law.
Mm-hmm.
That's negative. So any kind of certificate, documentation, any kind of uh, order, any kind of code, statute, regulation, all of those things are connected to the fraud. So they're all negative. Love, right, Islam. So when you're talking about the system, we have to stop putting our life force energy into the negative system. See, nationality is the order of the day, but it goes way beyond just saying what your nationality is. Everything comes in civics. That's why we have civilizations. You have order, you got structure, you got foundation. So everything plays off law. We got to start equipping our minds as well as our bodies into the functions of civics. That's what has the structure, and that's what's been out of place. You can't do nothing if your mind ain't right. If your
If your
mind is
mind is
contaminated, then your words gonna be contaminated. Your actions are gonna be contaminated. So you first gotta cleanse. You first really gotta purge your mind. You know how these people be out here talking about, oh, I got cleansers. I got cleansers for the body, which is cool. That's cool. All that's cool. But are you cleansing your mind? Are you purging? You can't be saying, well, I want to do this and I want to do that, but your status is dead with the black thing, with the color thing, Indian thing. See, first you got to purge. First, for anybody that's what you say in full life, this nationality gives you full life. It's not the total cure. So when you say I'm in full life, that means you're no longer civilita mortus, meaning you're dead. The living can't hit the dead. So when you're talking about social order, first you got to get that straight. Then you got to come into this right here. You got to come into this. This right here. See this? Hold up. Let me ask you a question. How you say White House? How you say White House in Espanol?
Casa Blanca.
Bing bong, Casa Blanca, right? What color is their house?
Blanco.
Oh, so if the house is Blanco and we are the ones who came up with civics first, we have to start getting up inside here. We got to start learning the jurisdictions. We got to start learning about the executive branch, the legislative branch. We got to start learning about all of the branches. You know what I'm saying? We have to learn about all this stuff where all the European hybrids have done is change places. They've just, that's all they done. All these are Moorish. This is where they get the structure from. So in order for that, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali laid it flat. He said, I'm going to leave the European here long enough for y'all to learn government, for the Moors to learn government. Our people have to learn government and government structure. We got to learn that. We got to learn right here. And if you over here calling yourself an African American, you ain't got no land. So how you gonna get 40 acres and a mule back? What are you talking about? Can't get no land like that. You ain't even claiming a land to have.
So that's pretty much the basics right there. Is like you said, even the whole learning civics. We were taught civics to a certain degree, in middle school. So it's like many people they'll say, oh, well, the educational system didn't teach me anything. They didn't teach me anything. I mean, for the most part, they taught you about their system. In a sense, it obviously came from somewhere. Even what they were teaching us, it had to come from somewhere. And if we already know that they stole pretty much everything, not one thing was genuine, not one thing was authentic that they had, that means that what they were teaching us really came from us. And they were teaching us in a sense of, like you said, they switch roles. So
Yeah.
the stories and the classes and things that we had, it's not to say that we didn't learn anything, but it was like, okay, some people were going to get it. Some people were going to come onto this journey and really see like life be a full circle. To me, I feel like, because in school we did learn a little bit about history. May have not been the whole truth. They were missing out a lot of parts, or they switched up a lot of the things that we were learning. But as we got into this whole journey of figuring out who we are, figuring out who they are, now you can look back at school and what the teachings were, and it's just like, damn, hold on, they were telling me who I was from the get-go, and
Just see, hold up. Check it out. The school system set up by Frederick T. Gates and John D. Rockefeller. You look up the General Board of Education's philosophy on teaching our people. They said they don't want doctors. They don't want lawyers. They don't want any one of us with any kind of knowledge of anything. They want our people to be workers, slaves. Yeah. They want us to be in the mind. Like if you go to it, you read it, it says in our molding hands. The entire school system is an indoctrination program. Everything. So if you ain't telling the truth, like this right here, right? 2 plus 2 is 4. Now, I can't be like, well, it could be 5, depending on the weather. Nah, it is what it is. So when you say the school system indoctrinated our people, you got to go all the way in, because because if you teach people who they are, now they got self-value. They got empowerment. Now they know who they are. But if you miseducate people and tell them they came over here slave boats, and you can't show me a slave boat, but you can show me a T-Rex femur, something wrong with that. So we got to unlearn pretty much everything that we have in our minds. And that's the great purge. That's the purge we got to get in our mind. Even the concepts of money, even the concepts of what they say is marriage, is really matrimony. We got to go, every facet of life has to be reevaluated.
Absolutely.
In order to get anywhere.
Absolutely. Especially within their system. But when I was saying, as far as like, okay, they were teaching us, I see it as far as like, okay, some people we're going to actually go deeper, or certain people they were going to stay indoctrinated. Other people were going to be able to, okay, even go back. The only reason why you started to even learn these things is because of what you were taught, because we weren't taught the correct things. So now it's like, okay, when we come to our truths, we can see a lot of these things that they were even teaching us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Even the stuff that they were teaching us,
yeah.
It was like, okay, some people, you could fool some people, but you're not gonna fool them all the time. You know? So it's like, for some of us who were, I want to say chosen, you know, when you hear people talk about chosen ones and all this stuff, there are some of us that are chosen ones because we are able to decode what has been taught, you know, and come back to truths and find ourselves once we identify who we are. But then you have others who they're gone. They're already, you know, indoctrinated. They're brainwashed. They are, you know, a slave.
They gone.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You saying you hitting them right on the head. If you come in with not even if, when you're coming with truth, people have in their minds, a lot of people, even myself at a certain point, like I said, 6-7 years ago, I wasn't thinking like I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know how you went about to identify what was wrong. You just know, because Allah is in each and every one of us. So we instinctively feel genetically there's something wrong with society. You just know, like, this ain't right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got people, right.
Listen,
but
that's why even many of us in school, it's not that we were like dumb or anything, or, you know, we just could not connect with what was being taught to us, you know,
because we weren't supposed to learn it.
Many of us couldn't even continue on to college. Not to say that it's because our IQ, you know, I know for a fact, like myself, I had, you know, a 18 ACT. Like, I had high scores in my stuff. So it wasn't about, okay, not being having the high IQ or being able to overstand or comprehend college or whatever it may be, but it was just not for me. It wasn't for me.
Because because you instinctively know something is wrong with this program. And it's a book. It's a book that they should get out there. It's a book that y'all should get. I don't know. Definitely get. Shout out to my twin flame, though. She gave me this book right here. This book right here. Should get this. This book right here. Get into your zodiac. Get into your salts and salvation. She gave me this book, and the more I've been busting this book open, I'm starting to really see, like, the reason why they didn't teach.
Put it back. I wanted to screenshot it.
You want to screenshot? Go ahead.
This book.
Go ahead. Get that, y'all.
Okay.
The reason I'm saying that they didn't teach us astrology is because astrology is the science of the cosmos. It's the science of the universe. So you think about it, everything branches off astrology. And she was telling me this, and I'm like, yo, you keep speaking astrologic, And I'm like, it took me a while to see what she was talking about, but I'm seeing like why she speak like that, because it's divine. And it's like everything that we learn, we have to unlearn and we have to relearn everything about Moorish science, because this is Moorish science. So if you telling me like Jesus walking on water, I threw a reel up about that. Jesus walking on water. Get the book, Word Magic. I got it around here somewhere. Here it is right here. Get the book. Get this book in your life. Get this book in your. I've been talking about this book for a while now, a couple years now. Get this in your life. Word Magic. When you start dealing with word magic, fam, there are dark magicians that are out here who look like me and you. Can't even tell. They look like me and you. You like, oh, well, you look normal. These people are vampires in the sense of they will drain us of our virtue. They will drain us. Just like how you say, like, man, every time so-and-so come around here, it's like a black cloud hovering around me, because their bloods, their energy suckers.
They're suckers, yeah.
Life force energy is crucial. And you got people out here who are harvesting. When you go to these sporting events, see how people be distracted. They go to these sporting events and people go there and they don't even, Ali, people don't even realize when you go to these giant coliseums, these sporting events, these are giant energy centers. So the people already have what's known as a silver cord attached to them. Everybody has a silver cord attached to the ethers in the ethereal realm. So when you go to concerts like the Travis Scott thing a little while, right? Yeah. I like your feed. I like your feed. It's some intelligent Moors out there on this beam out.
Somebody say that.
Yeah, it's intelligent Moors on this beam. I seen somebody write something right on time. On God. So when you go to these sporting events and you go to this stuff, these people are actually harvesting the energy off the people that are there. So you're actually getting drained of your ethereal energy in those concerts, in those basketball, football games. It's eating off you. So the dark magicians, they love deception. They love distractions. They love that. How do you change that though? You change that with knowledge of self. You got to have knowledge of self. You got to come into this right here. When somebody lost, Ali, when somebody lost, how do you find your way? How you find your way?
I'm trying to. You look around, like I don't know. You look around. You look at the stuff around.
You look, right. Right. You look around. You gotta know your birth chart. See? And my twin flame, she always be talking about the birth chart, and the birth chart coincides with this. Right here. This is another book they should get. Get this right here. Written by the Moor. Mashal Talib Mahfouz El Bey. Get this book in your life. You need this in your life. Because let's look at this right here. Now, anybody out there play baseball? Play baseball? You play baseball? What that look like right there? The diamond.
Mm-hmm.
See how it look like the diamond? You see how they always copying what we do? Because they have nothing else. They copy this right here because this is the diamond.
About that.
That's all good. You copying the diamond. And the G stands for the gnosis. That means so you know. So either you looking to know what time it is, or somebody that knows what time it is will use you because you don't know. And that's what's been going on. People been getting used out here because they don't know. But that time is over with now because it's the rise of the Moors.
Listen, so my partner, right? He's new new to this to a certain degree, but it's like it clicks. You know, it just clicks. And
Yeah,
I love to see like just like light bulbs legit just, you know, an illumination and
yeah,
everything changes, you know, when you start to really know yourself and identify yourself. And we were having this conversation about, oh, well, you know, something in regards to um even with those who created this whole, you know, this whole system or whatnot. He's
yeah,
like, well, how was it that, you know, they just came about and just would just create something like this, and people would just allow them to do something like this? I said, because there are going to be some people who are weak, then there are going to be some people who are strong. And if you're strong, you know, to a certain degree, you know that these people are weak. So if you do not some way somehow shape them or form them to how they can be some form of use to you,
yeah.
then they're useless. So it's like these people had to, they got together, you know, they were always strong. These, whoever strong minded people or were on a whole nother level than others, they created this. And then at the same time, it was like, okay, if you're weak, you're gonna be eaten alive. You know, like that's in anything, that's
Huh.
in any culture,
Right,
that's in any tradition. So it's like we have to be mentally strong, and that is why they attack us even from birth with schools and TV and things that hold no value. There,
right.
there's going to be some of us who are going to rise above that, above the bullshit, and see
Here you go. Here you go. What is this? This is on right on what you talking about. This get this in your life. This on right on what you talking about. This is Behold a Pale Horse. That's the name of this book.
yeah,
Nah, to add on to exactly what you just said. Exactly what you just said. Check it out. We talking about energy. All right. It's the key to all activity on Earth. In 1954, this was the issue of primary concern. Although the so-called moral issues were raised in order of the law of natural selection, it was agreed that a nation or world of people who will not use their intelligence are no better than animals who do not have intelligence. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Then we go further. He say, such people are beasts of burden and stakes on the table by choice and consent. Mm. So you want to be a looked at as a stake on the table because of your choice and your consent, or you want to get on this moral science. On this moral science, we talking about the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You want to get on that, on this, or you want to be a stake on the table. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't finna be nobody's you know what I'm saying, dinner, lunch, breakfast. No sir.
right, right, absolutely. So it's like, as much as many of us, we were taught to dislike reading and doing research, you know, because
Yeah,
in school we were doing research on things that really didn't add any value, you know, it didn't add any
yeah,
per se. But with, I keep saying we have to, in a sense, still go back to those days because we had to read, we had to, so it's like we had to take the good with the bad, you know what I mean?
yeah,
We're probably taught all this BS or whatever the case is. At least we learned the common things that we need to know, which was reading, comprehension,
yeah.
studying, researching, and being able to apply these things come exam time. And in
Yep.
you know, us going out there and not living by, we have to identify with ourselves now. Now is the time where,
Facts.
okay, we have to identify with ourselves. We have to go out there and not accept these licenses and not accept these things, because the more that we stand up against it, the more they're going to have to recognize, you know,
Facts.
and realize, okay, with these, we cannot mess with these people. They're way too smart. They know their powers. They know um contracts, it has even in the zodiac things that you'll see a lot of contracts or time to do business, time to not do business, time to work on what you need to be working on, time to focus on
Yeah.
you've had pending. So when we say study, it's more so of like you had to study for yourself, study for self more than anything else. It's not about the next person, to study for self. And some of the books that you've dropped about language, um zodiacs, about
Discipline.
civics.
See that?
Go ahead.
The willpower, mental toughness, and self-control to resist temptation and achieve your goals. The science of discipline. A lot of people don't be having no discipline. So they out here doing what they want to do and instead living in their lower self. And then you be like, fam, here goes some keys for you right now that we could do something to change everything going on outside. Nah, I'm cool. Here go the Constitution. Nah, I'm good. Here go the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. That's another thing. You talking about doing contracts. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights is an organic contract to all of humanity. So if you're not in that contract, because it's for everybody. Matter of fact, here you go right here. Here you go. Here you go right here. Here you go. Get this in your life, man. Get this in your life, fam. So when they be like, well, nationality don't really mean nothing. If it don't mean nothing, then why is that one of the main issues that our people don't know nothing about? You talk, all they know about is, well, I want to start a business, but I don't know how can I get this loan. The bank is a fraud. They're not giving you nothing. Everyone has the right to a nationality. Article 15. Say my words. It's right here. So if you ain't dealing with this, you ain't talking about nothing. Nothing. Nothing, fam. Because again, the living does not hear the dead. The living can't hear the dead. Because the living, just like the Prophet Noble Drew Ali spoke on, when he said, you who go by, who use names that delude to slavery, you're going to suffer mistreatments, you're going to suffer abuses that the citizens care to bestow upon you. So if you want to suffer and you want to get abused, hey, knock yourself out. You want to be a steak on the table. Go ahead.
He was also somebody that he stood on obviously identity heavy, and he knew himself. So with that being said, he was still conscious about having commerce, doing commerce
Yeah.
out here in these lands. And
Yeah.
with that being said, because he had trust, he had agreements, he had, different things, and tax exemptions, that were set in place pretty much,
Yep.
for us. Now, obviously, he wasn't, he left a lot of blueprints for
Man,
to
he left
a
everything
lot
it
of
takes to save a nation.
people are asking, like, okay, well, if we don't want to identify with things, then what can we do to go ahead and still be able to transact in commerce? Because obviously we don't have our own lands and gas places and things of that nature.
But that's the thing though. That's the thing though. We do. That's that I'm glad you said that, because that's the thing. Look, here, check it out. People have been, including myself, have been indoctrinated to think that this land is not our home. This land is our land. All of this land. All of this land. You see I'm just spinning the globe around? The globe ain't stopping. All of this land belongs to the Moors. It's all Moorish land. That has been one of the greatest lies ever pushed on our people.
For real.
That we think like we ain't at home right now. We at home. So when you at home, what are you supposed to do? You supposed to get your house in order. You see? So if you ain't getting if you don't, but whole time though, dark psychology is out of sight, out of mind. So this right here, this more science has been out of sight, and it's been muffled by our own people, agents that's out here, and they're using their political positions, fraudulent political positions, as a mold to muffle this information. But you can't stop it though. You can't stop the sun from shining, but for so long. So now you talking about we don't have our own land. All this land is our land. We just got to claim it. And how do you do that?
How do you do that? Let us know.
How do you do that? You have to put the squatters on notice. Who are the squatters? The squatters are the Albion Europeans or anybody else who ain't American. That's how you do that. You have to put the squatters on notice. How do you put the squatters on notice? You got to start writing writs up. Writs. But in order to do that, you got to know first.
So wait, there may be people that don't know what writs are. What is a writ?
A writ is an affidavit. They don't know what an affidavit is. You need to look it up. Look up what an affidavit is. Once you look up an affidavit, according to the maxims of law, an affidavit must be looked at. If it's not looked at, it stands. Islam. That's an affidavit. An affidavit must be looked at. It must be. And if it's not, it stands. Those are something you can find in this book right here. Get this book right here. So we going in though. Yeah, we going in. Yeah, we going in. See that? The Matrix as it is. Get this in your library. There's something in here that y'all should see right here. Is it in here? I think it's in here. I don't know if it's in there, but what I do know is, no, it's in this one. Get this one in your life. You have to start writing up affidavits. You have to start putting these European hybrids on notice that they're in your land. If you don't, then you agree to the fraud. Here it is right here. This is what I was talking about. The 10 maxims of law. All right. You talking about commercial law. You talking about contracts. You know what I'm saying? You got to get familiar with law, because in law, you have 10 maxims. You have to start getting in law. It don't matter what your, mentality is or your beliefs are. Beliefs and your opinions don't change law. Law governs all events. So you said about affidavits, right? Here you go right here. Affidavits. Number 4. This is a maxim of law. Yeah, new beginning, study course, connect the dots and see. All right, David E. Robinson. Get that in your library. What that say right there? Number 4, truth is expressed in the form of an affidavit. And you can get biblical with it too. You got people out there, you got people out there that be Bible thumpers, right? They love throwing scriptures and what the Bible said. Okay, here go the scriptures for you right there. If you can't see it, run the video back when it's done. Run the video back. Run the video back when it's over with, and then you will catch up. See that? Legal maxim. An affidavit is a two-edged sword that cuts both ways. An affidavit is your solemn expression of truth. In commerce, an affidavit must underlay and be the foundation of any commercial transaction whatsoever. So if these people don't get sent an affidavit letting them know, like, hey, listen, I'm putting you on power of affidavit right now. I'm putting you on notice. Guess what they're going to do? They're gonna keep doing what they've been doing.
Right.
They're gonna keep putting licenses on you. You're gonna keep going down there filling out for a driver license. You're gonna keep putting black on your application. You're gonna keep putting African American on there. Hey Ali, you ever seen on an application, have you ever seen European American on there? Huh?
Never. Never, never,
Never.
never.
Have you ever seen Asian American on
Never
the
seen that.
application?
Never seen that.
So why would they put African American on there? Because they're putting you into the Christian black codes. That's what they're doing. You see? There's contracts. You see, it's a contract. Once you fill out that application and you consent to that being your identity, now they can put you in a category called Christian Black Code property, i.e., 14th Amendment. You see, it's a second tier, and the 14th and 15th Amendment is not needed for the salvation of our people. It's what the prophet said, Noble Ali. And he was exactly right when he said that. He was way ahead of his time, man. Way ahead. Way ahead. This is why Noble Ali get high honors, because of what he was on, and how he was moving.
Right.
Ain't none of these so-called black leaders telling, how come none of these so-called black leaders ever open up some kind of law school, business school, where the youth can come up in there and then get taught about maxims of law, commercial contracts, regulatory law, common law? You see?
But they have, but listen, you go around these Jewish areas, you know.
Yeah, the Maganazis.
And
Yeah.
they'll have, like, their schools will teach about laws and these types of books, you know. And it's like, we're the only ones that they push us so hard to keep us back or keep us in a box, because they know for sure we're powerful. We're so powerful. And they try to push us on sports.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like they never have these types of schools that teach about business, you know, actual spirituality. You know, they put religion on us heavy.
Yeah.
But they don't teach spirituality and all of these other things that we need to continue to be powerful and just recognize ourselves.
Whole time though, this is why I said the school system is connected. The church is connected. The U.S. corporation is connected. They're all connected. Any kind of business that asks you to put a name in all caps is connected. Anybody asks you to put a social security on anything is connected to the monster. And the monster is the dark force. That's the monster. And it could be any nationality can be involved with that. It don't matter about the nationality. It's about positive energy and negative energy. Which one you want? You know what I'm saying? That's what it is right now. You either serve in the light or you serve in the dark side. That's it. Real rap. It ain't no in between. It ain't no, well, but when you come into the knowledge of self, though, you're looking to master your higher and your lower self. So you're in what's known as the principle of polarity. You studying yourself enough. Get the book, The Kabbalion. Get that. Get the Kabbalion.
Type it in here. I think it's
Yeah.
Kabbalion.
Yeah, get the Kabbalion. Kybalion. Get the Kabbalion. Get the Kabbalion in your life. Because the Kabbalion is going to tell you in like a real simplistic type way about everything is mental. Get that in your life. And it's going to break down the 7 hermetic principles. And again, you see by the cover, you see what we on. We still dealing with the Trinity. You know what I'm saying? We're still circling the square. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
you feel me? So why would people who are using Morris science for the dark. Why would they use it for the, why would they tell the God people, us, why would they tell the God people that we're the secret? They like, nah, we're going to use them God people for their life force energy. We're going to use their virtues and we're going to drain them. That's what's going on. Real rap.
Definitely. So for sure, it's all about notice. You know, a gentleman always gives notice. So we got to give notice to people, you know, and
But,
we have to believe in ourselves.
but we not gentlemen though. We noblemen.
Noblemen.
We noblemen.
Noblemen. And why
Yeah.
would you say the difference between that? Why wouldn't you say gentleman?
Because a gentleman is referring to the Gentiles. We
Mm,
not Gentiles. We Moors. You know what I'm saying? So it's all, see, that's when you got to go into etymology.
right.
Get a nice etymology dictionary, like a Chambers, or like I got one right here. Get you a decent little etymology dictionary. Get this in your life. Get that in your life. Dictionary of Word Origins. Get this in your
Okay.
life by John Aedo. Because when you coming right here, you talking about all words have meanings. So in order for us to start getting our minds right, we got to put the right food and fuel inside of our bodies. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We got to start putting the right fuel. Would you put the wrong gas inside your car?
Not at all.
Oh God, now your car ain't gonna run right.
Right.
Would you put a mask on the back of your car muffler?
Oh.
You ain't gonna do that, right?
Oh.
Come on, man.
No.
Come on, man.
Okay. So, um, yeah, pretty much, you know, we have to know their system and then at the same time know what to put in notice, you know, and we need to know what to have in place for ourselves because if they, you know, have trust for every, you know, their assets and things like that, we have to have also our trust for our assets. Because if not, it's abandoned property and we're not abandoned. We know who we are. So,
Abandoned, right? But when when people are misidentifying as black, Negro, or color, look, this how real it is. We are standing, living on the world's largest estate. All of this. So all of this is our estate. Hawaii and all that. All of this is our estate. So if we are not claiming our allodial estate, it is considered lost at sea or dead at sea.
right.
This is why we don't get taught about our free national name, because you talk about doing business. You ever notice how people from other nationalities, they do business with us, but they won't kick it with us though. So-called black, if they misidentifying as so-called black people, they're not gonna kick it with you. They'll do business with you, but you ain't really.
Hey,
Yeah,
that made me think about the times that I've been to Chinese, what do you call it, like nail places. I
yeah,
don't go anymore, but when I used to, you know, we all came from somewhere, you know. But anywho, I would go to these shops and they would legit have an American name, but I'll look at their license, right, and their license will have
yeah,
Chingwan Chang Chang, you know, but they're
yeah.
operating as John, you know, or something like that. So it's like, would you?
Bing bong.
Yeah, like, yeah,
Yeah, that's like Bruce Lee. That wasn't his name.
yeah,
That wasn't his name, fam. No, they use that when they come here, and they know that they have to kind of like semi blend in. Just like you go to Dunkin' Donuts or a gas station. Next time you go to the store tomorrow, do an experiment. I'm talking to the people on the beam out. Next time you go to the store tomorrow, go up in the Dunkin' Donuts or wherever you go, and you see somebody from another nationality, and they're from so-called India. Well, ain't India. This is Hindustan. So when you go up in there and be like, excuse me, you from Hindustan, right? He gonna look at you, or she gonna look at you like, they're gonna be like, yeah, I'm from Hindustan. Immediately, they know that you know. They're gonna look at you entirely different. Or you see somebody from so-called China, right? And you go up in there, you be like, ni hao ma. And then you ask them like, well, are you from, don't even say you from. Just be like, you're from Manchuria, right? Because they speak Mandarin. So you be like, you're from Manchuria, right? They gonna look at you right away. It's wild though, because I done it and I be doing it on purpose just to be seen. They gonna look at you entirely different. Then you tell them that you a Moor. Be like, I'm a Moor. I'm like, yeah. Whole respect level different. Now they know that you know you're not in the category, the Christian black property caste system. Now they looking at you like, this person knows themselves. And their coach, they know culture. So they're gonna look at you like, you different. How come a lot more of your people aren't like that? The whole vibe change. Because now they know you know.
Right.
And they in our land. You see? This our land. This our land.
So identity, born identity, like, yeah,
Man.
identity is definitely important. And then we have to also go back and teach our children the correct way, and try our best not to put them in the system. And if they are
Yeah.
we have to educate them from home, because
Yeah.
a lot of times, like, I'll see, in being in school or whatnot, I'll see people doing certain things, but I wouldn't do it just because in the back of my head, I always had my mother's or my father's teachings, So it's like, if you are able to not put them in the system, okay, great. But if you do have to put them in the system, make sure that they know who they are. But first and foremost, make sure you got to know who you are. So
Yeah, because if you do have to, you putting this right here on there. You putting this right here. You want to sign a contract? We talking about contract right now, commercial stuff, UCCs and all that, right? You want to put all rights reserved on there, because the name of the game between Moors and Europeans is always birthright theft. Never ever contract away your birthrights. The opposite word in the Uniform Commercial Code, UCCs, is commercial. Birthrights are not a commercial activity. That would be fraud and slave trade to sell or buy someone's birthright. So if you put your straw man on a piece of paper, now you've voluntarily enslaved yourself, and they're gonna hold you to that contract. Even though the contract is a fraud, it's unconstitutional. You gave it power, energy when you signed it. Even though you signed it with a straw man, which is a fraud, you still did not, what you would say, reject it. Or if you are doing commercial activity, you got to start learning how to sign contracts, all rights reserved. And UCCs are not, they don't trump the Constitution. See, they're universal commercial codes. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. So anybody talk about, well, the UCCs is the way to get out of it? No, sir. The Constitution has to be enforced. Period.
And that's on any level. whether it's dealing with the state or dealing with the federal level.
Well, you got low.
I said, it doesn't matter if you're dealing with the state, county or federal. You have to still, live by the Constitution and use the Constitution.
Facts. Fact. Because if you not, it look, government so-called de facto like government agencies and whatnot, they signed a contract to be in them so-called de facto government positions. Free organic people, we don't sign our birthrights away for that. That's why they don't have jurisdiction over free nationals, Moorish American nationals, or Moors. But at the same time, though, if you don't know that, they ain't finna tell you.
Right.
They ain't finna.
Listen, so does anybody have any questions? We're about to wrap it up. I would love to continue this school session. This legit was school. It was better than school.
Oh God.
And it's something that I know is going to empower us, and that's what we need nowadays is more empowered people. So if anybody has questions, drop it in that little bubble chat that has a little question mark in it. I know that there were some people speaking about can you speak on authenticating the birth certificate?
Don't do it.
Your thoughts on that?
Don't do it. Why would you authenticate a fraud? Did you hold up? Yo, Ali, we talking about contracts. When you was a baby, contract. First of all, the contract has to be within two consenting parties to make that contract legally bound.
Right.
So, as a baby, I don't think you was thinking about what you finna get done to you as a baby. You just came out your mama. You know what I'm saying? So, when you say you finna authenticate a birth certificate, the birth certificate is setting you up to be registry and surety for the United States corporation. Why would you want to do that? You want to be property on purpose? So they made you property, and then you want to say, nah, I want to authenticate the slave bond. What? No, sir. Don't do that.
That was his on that. How would you sign? Well, somebody says, how would one sign a beneficiary signature with all rights reserved? I mean, how would one sign beneficiary signature with all rights reserved?
All rights reserved. All rights, or it's a couple ways you could do it. You could say all rights reserved, or you could put your straw man. You could say your straw man X relation. Then you know what I'm saying, or you could put your free national. Then you say X relation to your straw man name, or you could put a UCC thing down there. But for all of that, all rights reserved. Can't nobody tell you how to sign anything. Can't nobody tell you how to put your signature, your autograph.
Your sign nature.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So going back on that whole authenticating birth certificate.
Yeah.
So as far as like what I was taught, because we all are taught from someone until we get to, more understanding of teaching ourselves and being self-taught,
Yeah.
we learn others. So as far as like that goes, I know that many of us, or even myself, if anything, we did it more so based on being able to go ahead and in a sense claim this document and put it in trust type of thing, and pretty much being able to fund our trust, because if we get to about 10 birth certificates and we authenticate those and we put it in a trust, that's the way that we can fund our trust. So
but
go ahead.
That's what but you know what's wild?
What's up?
That's keeping the beast alive, because the nationals of the land, our people, the indigenous people, we keep putting our life force energy into a de facto fraud that's sucking off our virtues. We have to choke the straw man out. If you keep transacting business in another man's name, you keep that corporation alive. In order, you can never get the straw man. The straw man is a fiction. It's not real. So there is like, I know people be getting caught up with this, this like a endless, a bottomless, you know what I'm saying, money down there. The United States corporation is a fictitious entity. It's only on paper. So you can never acquire money. Only thing you're going to do is voluntarily enslave yourself up or sign yourself up to be a slave to the corporation. You're never going to get money out of that because money is only gold and silver, period. So when you sign your life force energy away on a fraudulent contract, that's you consenting to the fraud. So you ain't got no right to complain. Birth certificates, get out of there. Get out of there, G. Get out of there. Get out of there. For real. You keeping the beast alive.
People are saying we have one more. Wouldn't let me select that person. That person's question. Oh God, that's funny.
What?
Somebody was saying, I want to denounce my citizenship. Is this a step towards becoming a free national?
Okay. Article, the article, what you would say, Amendment 13. The 20 amendments, section 12. That's a reference point. Look that up. The original 13th Amendment, section 12. It states, listen, it states, Africans shall not be citizens. So you can never be a citizen of the United States Corporation anyway, because that's a violation of treaty law. See that flag right there? It's a violation of that. And it's a violation of what you would say is Muslim law, which is the Constitution. So you can't be a citizen if you want to be a citizen, because the U.S. is a fabrication, G. It ain't real. So when you say you're a Moor, then you're saying that, okay, I know who I am. I want to learn more about who I am. So I'm a national. You a national by blood. This ain't got nothing to do with no paperwork. You already a national. You just ain't claimed it yet. Closed mouth don't get fed. So you got to claim it. Now you could be recognized as a national amongst other nationals and take care of your business.
So
that part.
With this one here, thank you for that, for sure.
Sure.
With this, and again, all of this, you can't just take someone's word. You have to do your own,
Yeah, look it up.
due diligence.
Look it up.
That's,
Look it up.
what of us get caught up in is that we just go by what someone is saying because it sounds good. And I'm not saying him, I'm talking about just in general. Even
No, me too. Me too. Look it up.
Yeah,
Look
like
it up.
we got to do our due diligence and know what we're doing. So this person, for example, says, how do we correct a court record that labels someone black? As far as like how I did my correction, to where if I go to the hospital, if I go to court, they have me as white.
Right.
Or they have, I think I had selected even, I want to say, I don't know, I think I had selected both, like white or Indian. But anywho, they have me as white when I went in the SF-181 form. So sometimes we are going to have to use these forms to get out they have these forms for a reason, so we have to deal with a lot of these forms, and if anything, also send in affidavits, but you have to pretty much look at the, like, what regulates all these questions that you're asking about, like who regulates these things, what company, or what division of the corporation handles these affairs. So that's who we need to, reach out to go ahead and make these changes. Who does the social security card belong to? Who does
all those again, they are all fraudulent. So we ain't gotta go to them. That's the thing. We don't have to go to none of these corporate frauds. We Moors have to link up here first. And any kind of contract, any kind of business that you do, you have to know how to fill out them contracts. There's nothing wrong with doing commerce and contracts. You just got to know how to fill out the documents. But it starts with knowledge of self, though. You know what I'm saying? White is a legal status. Like that goofy video that's spinning around right now about African American and white. Yeah. Europeans, they're the black people because black mean pale. European hybrids, what they do is they've changed places and they've took the title called free white person. Free white person mean the highest status in the land. So when they took that status in 1854, that's when Horace Greeley, he cooked up that whole white party thing. 1854, Horace Greeley, look him up. European hybrids, they took on white and they put black on our people. See, they changed, they went from being the bottom of the bottom and they jumped to the first class. But that's not their place though, because they're not nationals, they're not Americans. See, that whole so-called white man, we had to do a whole other beam out, G. We had to do a whole other beam out because you got to stop misidentifying as black because you putting yourself in the bottom of the bottom on purpose. Addy, let me ask you a question. Would you rather have the first class ticket or you sitting underneath the plane, not in the back, underneath the plane with a luggage check?
First class.
Exactly. So when you say you black, colored, Negro, people of color, you ain't even in the coach area. You in the bottom of the plane. So
y'all, this was love. This was love. This was love. We gotta go. So I do appreciate, all that you do, all that you're putting out there, because breaking down certain, some of these books, some of these words is definitely needed, because what we don't realize is, we were taught big sentences in school, but often even themselves are a sentence. Just one word can actually have other meanings and things like that. So for you to even things, for a lot of us, you definitely, open the mind up and help us use our third eye, on a lot of things. So that is much, much love and respect towards what you do. Do you have is it on Instagram that people normally can find you, or you have a Patreon? What is it that you have?
Yeah, you can check me out on IG. Check me out on my Patreon. Everything the same name, The Real Kush Day. You can check me out on Patreon, TikTok. Pretty much those three: Patreon, TikTok, and IG.
You go on live, do you have certain days that you go, or you just when you read it and you come up on something, you just log on?
Turn your notifications on.
There you go.
Because they shadow banning me right now. So turn on your notifications, turn them on. Because you never know when I'm gonna beam out. Turn them on.
Definitely.
Check me on YouTube too. YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. Yeah.
So y'all got a different ways, of just studying. These are study sessions. Honestly, when you click any of his videos, just be prepared to have a lesson. It is going to be a lesson that
you're going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, definitely. It's needed. Instead of just spending so much time doing this, TV stuff or whatever, definitely feed your mind.
Oh God.
Everything, because that's something that they can't take from us, is our mind. So with that being said, again, much love and appreciation for you being on here.
I gotta throw a shout out to you for having me on this beam out. Appreciate you having me on this beam. I gotta throw a shout out to the God's Closet. You see the Moorish drip. You want to tune in to the God's Closet. You see what's happening. You know what I'm saying? You see the Moors swinging them scimitars. So you see what's happening. Shout out to the Fez Dilla. Shout out to my brother Cujo named in Canaan Land. Shout out to all the Moors everywhere tuning in real time and on the recorded time. That's standing on 10 toes down. with their sword swinging, ready. Shout out to all you Moors and Muslims that's out there.
For sure, for sure. And then yeah, for bringing this freedom to many of us that have been enslaved for so long. We definitely do appreciate all those freedom pushers out there.
Oh
You
God.
That's love, and that's a lot of
Yeah.
respect.
Even the hybrid Europeans that be showing love though. Shout out to y'all too.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a few people
Real rap.
for sure. I
Real rap.
Lawful Waters. There's a few people, out there that's definitely bringing water pieces. There's a few people that
Yeah.
are out here, really for the people. And it's not about
Yeah.
color. It's about,
Nah. Color's dead.
right. It's about people, you know. So
Facts.
we do appreciate that. And yeah, so give thanks so much.
Oh God, man. I appreciate it. Islam Wars.
All right. So let me go ahead. Yeah, so next Monday, I hope y'all catch this Mindful Monday coming up next Monday. Again, give thanks for everyone who has joined. I just recently launched my business 888 strategy. So if you have business passions that you need to monetize, hit me up. I love what I do. I love what people do. And I love to see people's goals being achieved, So definitely here for you all. And I do have a course coming up, which is called Lawful Money Living. So many of us go into these bank accounts not realizing, again, identity, who we are. So with that being said, when you go to these bank accounts, they set up our accounts in a way that it benefits them, not us. So they can do whatever they want with our money. They can levy our accounts. They can do report our private information to these other companies and stuff like that that aren't hold any power against us or over us. So learning how to set up your accounts in the proper way could definitely be of great assistance to you, aside from your trust. And it's just so many things that we don't know, and I can't wait to share it with you all. So give thanks. Again, this class is April 28th. Visit 888strategy.com, and it's called Lawful Money Living. I'm sorry, Lawful Money Living. So yeah, for those out there who are operating in commerce, who do have businesses, and want to make sure that they're not just protecting themselves, with doing the corrections of statuses, but also your accounts. Make sure that your accounts are set up in the proper way, and yeah, so give thanks. I'll see you guys again next week. We have another guest next week, and I can't wait to